So, as I looked back at my life, I could see creativity sprinkled all through it. Now, did it look exactly like what I was putting my hand to in this particular season? No. But I could see that creativity, it looked different in almost every season and layer of my life. It was so interesting. Hi, friend. I'm Susan Beth, and you are listening to the She Is podcast, where we talk about living life intentionally and about trusting that the desires you have deep within you are there for a reason. I believe that the creator of the universe put those desires within you and that they are pathways to your purpose. My desire is that this would be a space that encourages you to lean in and to hear the whispers of the divine, and that you would be reminded of things that I honestly believe you already know. That you, my friend, are here for a reason. So if you're here for more conversations in that kind of space, welcome. Let's go. The season of fall is layered with lovely texture and colorful leaves. And even though at times the change might appear to have happened suddenly, the reality is that what is now becoming visible to our eyes, it's been happening for a while. I can remember several years ago when I entered a new season of spending more time creating art. I had many people in my life ask me, where did all this come from? And it wasn't just a question in passing a lot of times. It was someone looking me dead in the eye, waiting for my answer. So it got me really thinking about this question. I mean, I could see why many were asking. Creating art in a few different ways was definitely a lot more of where my energy was going during that time. And I do think that the world that we live in now with social media, where when we share our life online, people have a glimpse of things that are going on with us that in the past, unless you lived a life and saw people on a daily or weekly basis, they necessarily didn't know what all you were doing. So as I looked back at my life, I could see creativity sprinkled all through it. Now, did it look exactly like what I was putting my hand to in this particular season? No. But I could see that creativity, it looked different in almost every season and layer of my life. It was so interesting. For instance, I could see that when my children were younger and my days were filled with feeding children and cleaning up after them and homeschooling, my creativity was in full force around how my everyday life looked. And as a family, we lived out the seasons of life very creatively. And sometimes, to be completely honest, it felt like creativity in the midst of complete chaos. But I truly believe that we are all hardwired divinely from our Creator with this desire and the gifts that wherever we find ourselves, in whatever season, that we are designed and gifted to bring order and beauty in the midst of chaos. So I mentioned how I could see how creativity looked different in the different seasons. And looking back, I could see that it was like life inviting me into another layer of learning and living in each new season. You know, my circumstances in my family, with my husband or my children or my work in the church or the community, it offered me new experiences to learn and to grow. And as the case is for most of us, we can get so caught up in the moment of just living the daily life of the season that we're in that we oftentimes we aren't even aware of all that the layer is holding for us. It's sometimes only in us looking back that we can see how we were being formed layer by layer. And it's been in the looking back that for me, I continue to become well aware that God has always been faithfully answering the true desires of my heart. I see that what I sometimes thought was part of the plan actually wasn't, or it was for a season. It was a layer to be built on, a layer to stand on and to continue building on. The thing about layers is that sometimes we think that a particular layer is our life forever. I mean, maybe it's a layer that we particularly love and we're comfortable in, and it brings us joy and happiness. And we look around and we think that our life will look like that layer forever. Or we can believe that a layer in our past was the best layer ever and that life is all downhill from here. Why would we ever believe that lie? It reminds me of how when you have a breakup with someone that you've been in a relationship with and you were in that in-between time of feeling the loss and not fully moved on yet and experiencing the next. So you find yourself texting or reaching back out, even though you know that it needed to end. But all you are focused on and remembering are the good times, the beautiful moments, the special moments. Let's not do that with the layers in our lives. Let's be people who remember and we honor and celebrate all the beautiful memories and the good times. But let's also be people of hope that believe and trust a God that grows us from glory to glory and invites us to live an abundant life. You know, the layers of life are this delicate ebb and flow of dying and rebirth and growth. Layers of letting go and growing. So I want to end with sharing a thought from the Autumn Journal this week. The layers of life, layers of dying and rebirth, of falling away and a growing, woven together into our journey, the layers of life.
Hey, you. Thanks for listening. And if you would like to connect more, head over to susanbeth.com and sign up, and you will be one of the first to find out about anything new. Plus, there's a special free download available just to say thanks. If something in this episode did speak to you, would you do me a favor and share it with a friend that you think it might resonate with as well? And until next time, keep showing up in the world just as God purposed you to do, because you being you is exactly what we all need.
A production of Amplify Life Media.